Welcome into another edition of SC Checks In. We've got former Southeastern football student athlete Daniel Nichols with us. Daniel, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
How's this transition from going to the house and then now, like you said yesterday, you talked about school's out. How's that transition been, and what kind of changes have you dealt with?
Well, with the pandemic, it has been difficult. School continued, obviously doing online work, trying to do our best to coach from through Zoom, and so it has been difficult with trying to be raising kids at home as well as working from home. So that's been fun. Currently I am a high school teacher and basketball coach, but I don't think I'd make a very good homeschool teacher. That's been tough with a 2-year-old.
I gotcha.
But for the most part, we have been blessed through this pandemic.
That's good. So like I said, Daniel played football for Southeastern. He's a 4-time All-Lone Star Conference selection. He has 2 top 10 single season performances, and he is second all-time in receiving. So I'm talking to an elite football player for the Savage Storm.
Lots of seconds.
We talk about Southeastern, when you're getting recruited, what drew you to Southeastern?
Well, my original goal was to play basketball.
Yeah.
I didn't dribble very well, and so there wasn't many basketball offers. But I really only had three schools look at me for football. It was Southeastern, it was Tarleton, and Ouachita Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
I just really enjoyed the it seemed like it was a good community. Southeastern was close to my high school in Cooper.
There it is.
I just enjoyed my visit to Durant and got along well with the coaches, and I thought that was a place for me.
That's good. So a lot of people don't know he's from Cooper, Texas, but it's spelled Cooper, and there's a pronunciation difference. So it's nice for me to talk to somebody that actually says it the right way. So, but that's awesome, and then you transition to playing here. Talk about your experiences when you played here. You got any specific memories, or just the total time you were here?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say being at Southeastern was probably one of my best life experiences. It kind of started out, I probably didn't buy in very well as a redshirt. I think it was hard to sit out a year, go to practice, and not actually get to play in games. But as soon as I got through my redshirt year, my friendships that I built on with some of my teammates, some of those even extend to today. Some of my best friends I met at Southeastern on the football team. On campus, I'd say that some of my good friends I met at the BCM and at local churches in Durant. But yeah, it was. I had the pleasure of playing with some good players that, as you mentioned, that helped me to excel. I wouldn't change my experience at Southeastern for anything. Maybe I might have blocked a little bit better for my running backs if I could go back. It was a great experience.
That's good. Well, it seems like you were ready, coming out of the gate of your redshirt year, because 4-time All-Lone Star Conference is hard to do. Getting All-Lone Star Conference one time is hard just because of what you're going up against, and in a conference with all the schools, to be able to do that, it's being elite.
Again, I was probably blessed with timing. You always have to be prepared. Somebody might get hurt, somebody might transfer out, and you just always had to be ready for your opportunity.
Yeah. Well, also you're 3,000 plus yards, second all time in yards receiving. Those are you found ways to get open, and they found ways to get you the ball for 4 years. So and you definitely led the Savage Storm to some wins. Graduation. So you graduate and kind of train. What happens after that? You transition to the post-athlete life, and maybe talk about some of those experiences and what you did.
Yes, sir. So at Southeastern, I I finished with a social studies education major. So I finished with my teaching certificate. I just enjoyed sports, and so I wanted to continue that as a high school teacher and a coach. Initially, I went and got my master's. And while I was at Southeastern, every summer I worked at a summer camp called Kids Across America, which is in just right outside Branson, Missouri. But through Kids Across America, I was introduced to a graduate program called the Kanakuk Institute. And so I was there for a year, lived in the little tourist town of Branson, which was a fun experience. And then after that, I worked at Cooper for 4 years, the hometown. I coached everything: middle school, baseball, basketball, football, track. Even did a little golf. I've never played golf at that point.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I'm currently at my third school. I worked 1 year in Austin. I got married in 2015, and my wife. This is recorded too. My wife lived in Austin, and so I moved down there for a year. And then the last 4 years we've lived in McKinney, and I'm the varsity girls assistant basketball coach at McKinney Boyd High School, and I teach AP World History.
Nice. So, coaching and being on the other side, and, you're coaching student athletes. Did you ever have that moment where you sat back and thought, now I know why the coaches did the things they did?
For sure. There's definitely, you definitely kind of see maturity level. And I'm sure I was very immature, even in college, and dealing with coaches and maybe not showing up to practice, giving my best effort every day. But you definitely learn, and you learn to be patient and encourage students to be the best they can every day.
Nice. So, so you're at McKinney. What have you done now to stay in contact with your players? What are you all doing? Are you communicating with them every day? What's that look like? What's the day in the life of Daniel Nichols look like right now?
Well, with basketball, we've had 2 meetings a week, usually a team meeting, and then we split our team into family groups. So each coach will get about 5 or 6 players, and so it's kind of accountability that again we would meet separately with those players and sometimes challenge them to be leaders and encourage the rest of their teammates to work out. I know it's difficult when kids are at home, especially high school kids, to sleep in and not want to do anything, and I'm sure some people are in situations where that's not possible, or it's not as easy as other kids. Just doing my best to encourage and hold kids accountable, while doing my best to give them skills training. They have weightlifting workouts to do with what they have around the house, as well as some leadership book study things that we're going through with our players.
Nice. So how's your family handled, the stay at home, safer at home, all that kind of stuff? How have you all handled that?
Well, my wife is also a teacher in Plano.
Gotcha.
She was actually on maternity leave with our second daughter, when school got canceled after spring break. So I think she was 2 weeks into maternity leave, and then I got to be at home, and our oldest daughter, who's 2, is at home, and so that's not what she was anticipating. But when she got back from maternity leave, she just went back into online learning like we were, and so it was kind of difficult trading off between watching our kids and going to teacher meetings, sports meetings, individual tutorials with students. So it was interesting. I mean, we definitely grew a lot, and through, especially with our communication. And yeah, I've learned to cook a little bit more since we've had a baby. I've seen some of your stuff online, probably not as good as you.
Oh no! Good Lord!
I've learned the Instapot is not a bad invention.
It's cheating.
It is.
Yeah, I certainly use that quite a bit. It's just easy to throw a bunch of stuff in there and go.
Sure.
So I just saw, the UIL came out with some guidelines and stuff. I think was it last week. How does that affect you coaching moving forward this summer? What is that going to look like for you?
Well, I don't think I could answer that well. We are going to start back June 8th with strength and conditioning and just small group social distance skill work for basketball, as well as other sports. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. There's going to be just wiping down equipment after everybody lifts. There's sanitizing basketballs or footballs, checking kids' temperatures as they come in the door. So it'll be a fun experience.
It will be.
Hopefully it goes well and we don't have to shut down again.
I feel the same. So, moving into the summer, what are some big summer plans you got family-wise? You taking any vacations, or, I'm sure you're probably ready to take a vacation and get away.
So we have a family vacation in 2 weeks. My wife's parents live in South Carolina. So we're just going to hang out on the beach for a little bit. Something we actually did last week. When I was a baby, I was adopted. And so kind of while we've been at home, I've discovered through ancestry.com who my biological mom was. So I actually met her for the first time.
Wow.
Last week. And so we've been in contact, and it was fun. It was interesting.
I bet.
We're also trying to sell our house. I think we've outgrown it. So we're currently in the middle of packing and cleaning. So hopefully that goes well. We want to get that done before we go to South Carolina.
Yeah.
So it'll be a lot, and then also trying to stay in contact with athletes and still do the coaching aspect.
Right. I can only imagine when you get away, do you completely check out, or do you kind of keep your phone handy just in case the event someone wants to reach out, an athlete, anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know we're on call almost 24/7.
Sure.
But,
Yes, sir. It's sometimes my wife gets frustrated that I always have my phone on me, but for sure, teaching and coaching, that life never really stops, even in the summertime.
It does not. So I'm going to ask you this. When you think of Southeastern Oklahoma State University, what comes to mind, and what does Southeastern mean to you?
And that's a great question. And as I mentioned earlier, Southeastern is one of my life experiences that I would rank probably number one or number two. I don't want to discount my marriage. Wedding was a good day. But the community at Southeastern, the faculty, I'm sure, I think Miss Coach Wilmoth is there still, Cherry Wilmoth, and Vicki Hudson. Is Vicki Hudson still there?
She retired.
She retired. Okay.
She's still around.
But yeah, those are good people, and my head coach was Coach Richards, Ray Richards. We've still been in contact. So the people on campus I've met. People at church. Again, I mentioned my teammates, just lifelong friends and mentors. And yeah, just great people in that community. If you really buy into the community of Durant and to the campus life on Southeastern, at Southeastern, there's you'll definitely, like myself, make some lifelong friends and have some great experiences. And yeah, again, it was an opportunity and that I was blessed to have. I wasn't even expecting to play football in college. I actually didn't even play. I only played football 2 years in high school, my sophomore year and senior year. So Southeastern gave me an opportunity to keep playing sports, and I used that to get my education.
Well, it certainly worked out. You're in the
sure.
record books and got your degrees, and now you're at home, family man and coaching.
Yes, sir.
So when all this ends, I'm sure you've seen our progress in the Bloomer Gym with the new weight room and all that.
I have. It looks good.
We need you to get up here and come to a walkthrough with us, and get an exclusive tour and check it out. And
that sounds great.
We're excited about that. We can't, we want to have an unveiling and all that, and pair it around another event, but we're waiting and waiting for the right time to do that when it's safe and all that. But when it does, we want to get you up here and show it off. And things are changing up here, and it's interesting, walking in Bloomer Gym, because you and I remember Bloomer Gym right here, and it's completely different. And it's awesome though, and it's an awesome deal for our student athletes. But we'd love to get you up here and show you around and get you in front of our head football coach. So let's keep in touch.
That would be great. Absolutely. I appreciate you. Appreciate what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate it too. Storm fans, that's Daniel Nichols, one of the all-time greats of Southeastern football. Daniel, thank you for taking time today.
Yes, sir. I'll have a good day.